Welcome back to the Sick Boys Podcast. I'm your host, JD Denham, across the way in sunny, hot Arizona. Justin Wetzel, what's up, my buddy? How are you, brother?
Oh, man. Well,
You're
we were
looking
just
very
talking.
punk rocky today, bro.
I was feeling punk
You're
rocky
looking buff,
today.
too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had this like punk rock attitude today, and I woke up this morning. So we had a piece go viral, and Freddie, it was the worst angle Freddie could have ever got of me. And I've been having, so I have like scoliosis, and like I have I have a back issue, but it doesn't cause me any pain because I built a ton of muscle around it. But I still sometimes slouch. And I'm fucking tall. Like,
You're
so like
tall.
when I'm talking to people shorter than me, I kind of meet them like down a little bit. You know what I mean? So funny enough, I I uh I filmed this thing with I think you saw it. I filmed this reel with Christina where, she's like, "What time do you wake up?" And she's doing curls, and then like it's like, "Don't you ever feel crazy?" And I'm like, "No, I don't feel crazy," but she's gone. It's like I'm talking to nobody. And it went viral. And all the comments are people talking about my posture and my
Really?
back being hunched down because, oh, dude, it's brutal. And
Will
to be
suck,
honest, and
bro.
I'll get vulnerable right now. That is actually the one thing that kind of gets to me. Like I don't care, like, right, like you can't offend me, but it's one thing that I can't really help. Like I can, but like posture is like tough for a guy my size and somebody who has like scoliosis, right? So like I have to always remember to like sit up straight, and it's hard. Like you're big, like and it's funny because like a lot of other guys are commenting and they're like, "Dude, I'm 6'4", like I have a hard time with it too. It's hard." And so, but it does actually, it bothers me a little bit. Like I won't lie, like I'm like, "Fuck, dude, like that's what you're gonna pick on me for?" Like the fact that I have a beautiful blonde wife,
Yeah,
I'm very successful. I've
right.
worked super hard on my body. Now you're gonna rip me on my posture? Like get fucked. Anyways, but it went really viral. And it was just funny to see like how fast you can grow a page, because obviously we started the Legacy Labs page that we crossed the line there. We moved too fast with talking about the no stuff, and that got shut down. So it's like, fuck it, let's run it again. And that kind of brings me to this topic where it's like you and me, because you're in the same boat that you're with the bigger page that Legacy is in. And I was thinking about this the other day. Okay, just the Justin Wenzel page, it produces a lot of money, right? Like it's a very successful page, right? It's a multi 7-figure page. That page produces a ton. My ad account alone pulls in multi 7-figure. Now, of course, I spend a lot of money, but it pulls in a lot of money. And so, but there's this like little part of me, this like little fantasy in my body that's like, I wish that page got wiped away. And I should be careful if when I say that, right? But like, there's a part of me that's like, I love starting over. I love starting over.
Well, so let me kind of just jump in because we talked off camera, but so what Justin and I are talking about are social media pages, obviously, and we've both started many and done pretty well in the ones that we've done. I had an unwoke page that I grew fast and quick, and then I got shadow banned, and they didn't ultimately shut it down. I just never grew, and nobody saw my post. I still posted every day, multiple times, you know me, like a robot and thinking I could outwork the algorithm. And I was newer to Instagram, but I had no experience with Instagram when I grew that page. You know what I did? I just worked my ass off. I posted like a robot, same times every day, just like I did on my other channel, on my fitness channel, and grew that. But anyway, so our Warrior Makers page got shut down today. I saw it coming. I mean, I was already not giving it too much love. I was getting dinged for, dude. I mean, I was getting dinged for everything, bro. Like things that weren't even like peptide shit. So I was on a radar. So whatever. But the point is, when Justin just said that, is so I sent my wife the thing where it says your count is taken down, or wherever the hell it said. I sent it to her. She's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I said, "What the hell you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a new page and I'm gonna grow it faster."
Yeah.
Who are you talking to, babe? She's like, no shit. I know. You know what I mean? Like, they don't win. You don't win, dude. Let me read you this real quick. Let me read you guys this. This is good. Hold on. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Big Brother is watching you. That book, whoever doesn't know, I would imagine everybody in the world knows, but was written 1948. It's called 1984. Holy shit, did that guy have foresight?
Yeah.
Now, I to talk about punk rock. I came out of the womb with a mohawk and both fingers, dude. Let's break shit. I was cut from the cloth to walk against the grain, dude. So that's just the way. So when it comes down to like somebody telling me I can't say this or somebody telling me I have to do this, I have a big problem with that. I
Mm.
don't do well with it. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. Now, different things these days, man. I got a business partner and we have a very successful business. So that definitely kind of keeps tape over my mouth on a lot of different things. When it was just me with Unwoke, man, you didn't meet me in those times, man, especially when we were in the CVID type stuff, bro. I was very vocal about it. I was not okay with what I saw. But anyways, man, yeah, that's just the way that we live. We live in a world where whether you agree with it, like it don't matter if
Yeah.
you like it or agree with it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. We, especially if you are somebody on social media that wants to make money, like we're both living proof where you can make a shitload of money on social media. It's there. Like we're very blessed. So it's a little bit of a catch 22. We have these platforms that are free and we're able to use it. But brother, if you don't, if you say certain things, if you have certain viewpoints, you do get shadow banned. I'm living proof because that happens to me all the time. Even not even in peptide shit, just my viewpoints.
It's like, but I have a problem with it. It is what it is, but it's just so their discernment and what they qualify as, what they allow and what they look over, and
There's no
it's
rhyme
like
or reason.
it's insane. Yeah, it really is. But we're learning, and either way, it doesn't really matter because starting over is once you know how to do it, you can. It doesn't matter. Like it's so funny because I don't know if you even noticed. But the Tribrid page got reported. I don't know how, but I'm working through it right. I'm working through it right now. Our beard care line got reported. I have no clue, but who cares? It's fine. We can launch another one. It doesn't matter. Like we know how to do this very, very well. So anybody that is watching this that is like, oh, I could never imagine, like, one, just start. Two, understand that the as much as it sounds like we're saying that the big brother's watching us and like they'll shut us down and things like that. Yeah, that's partially true, but they also want us to be successful, right? As a marketing platform, Meta and all of the platforms want successful businesses on there. They do not want businesses failing on their platform. They want us to spend money. They want us to utilize the platform. And the only way that we can spend money and utilize the platform is if we're fucking successful. So
Well, let me
they're
let me
going.
stop you there and let me ask you a question because you know a lot about this stuff.
Mhm.
So have you ever met that guy Mike Rashid?
Of course I have.
Big black guy? Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't I mean, now I've seen him anywhere anyways,
Yeah.
I'm in
He's
there with
got
him. I've
something to
seen
do
him a
with the
few
Ambrosia
times.
Collective.
Finally, "What up, dude?" We start talking. Of course, you get him come over to the shop here, and, we start rapping. Super cool guy, just so freaking mellow. Dude, just cool dude. I liked him a lot. And, anyways, he and I were just talking about social media and different stuff. He said, basically, the thing is they want you to be successful. So you're right. Where we might fall short of that is we don't buy advertisement. We don't buy any type of leads. We are 100% organic. We have not spent $1 on leads, not one. So that might be some of the issue,
Could be.
but I found that interesting. I mean, once he said that, it made super good. I mean, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I never really had heard anybody said that, but it was so logical once he said it. But
So
I
once you
never heard
spend
that.
a certain amount of money with Meta, you get appointed a basically like a marketing liaison, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it's got to be consistent. And so I have somebody, and I know John Anderson does as well, that we have direct communication with in Meta. Okay. Now, some of them are helpful, some of them aren't. Every so often, they switch you out with somebody else, and once in a while, you'll get a really good one. And when you get a really good one, they'll call you periodically to check in on you. And anytime they do, and in the past, I don't need to so much anymore. I have people handle that part for me. But but when they do, you answer. And because they're going to try to sell you other marketing, that's their job, right? And all of that. But you can usually get tidbits of information out of them that you can't get from the general public, like just from the knowledge of everything.
Like stuff
So
that
whenever
changes and comes down the pike.
yeah, correct. Well, not just that, but just like insights, right? And not only that, not just the insights, but there's also there's other things. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can ask them about, and they can like get in and see like your true page health and like like there's different questions that I've asked over the past years. But that is one thing that they made very clear to me. They said they were like, yes, we are going to show you where to place your ad. So like so JWX, right? We have an ad strategy that's very thought out, very direct. And if you do it and you do it right, and you stay disciplined with it, which nobody does, but some do. Like John Anderson is the most disciplined man in the world. He does everything by the book, and if the way that he's told to, right? So I should be surprised that he's got an 8-figure coaching business, right? So anyways, if you follow our ad strategy, understand that a lot of the material and the stuff that I didn't just make this up, right? Like this was like me taking time to be like, okay, so what you're telling me, Mr. Dude in India who is on the inside of Meta, is if I place this like this, it's going to go to these eyeballs, correct? Yes, 100%. And are you 100% sure that and I'll grill these motherfuckers. Like I'll grill them and I'll be like, are you 100% sure that if it's exactly like this, it does this? Yes, Justin, exactly like this. Or no, Justin, you need to make this change, and so on and so forth. So when I built our ad strategy, like I said, it wasn't like some of it came from testing, but not all of it, right? Some of it came from testing, but a lot of it came from me from like me like doing this like with Meta, like while I'm sitting in my ads manager talking to my representative and making sure that like that if I place an ad or I place something like this, that it will hit the eyeballs that I'm going for. Anyways, that's it's important to understand that the processes and the systems that are in play are not meant to work against you as much as you think they are.
Yeah.
They're not.
Right. You just got to play the game. But what I took out of what you said is something that I learned, everything in my life is pre and post sobriety, but, I've spoken on it before, but, about a year into my sobriety, I'm a different man, right? I'm a changed man. And for the first time in my life, so if I got sober 33, now I'm 34, and, I had some successes in my 20s just through mortgages because I was pretty damn good at it, but I never really cared about being a student of my craft. I just worked. Now I'm 34 and I'm a new dude. And what you just said was I started studying and started learning. I said, well, listen, I'm a mortgage banker. Why don't I start studying about money? So I started reading about the Federal Reserve and I started reading about just, everything in regards to banking. I'm a mortgage banker and I wanted to be a student of my craft. One, I was blown away with what I found. It was the key to the opening of the whole supposed rabbit hole, so to speak. But two, I just started studying different things. Then that turned into, okay, well, my sponsor told me in the beginning of my sobriety, if you want to be successful, do what successful people do. So I took that and carried it on into life. So now I want to be a successful businessman. So let me start to study wealthy people. What do wealthy people do? Well, they don't pay taxes. Why? Because they buy assets, right? And then they never sell their assets. Then they leverage their assets, meaning take money out of their assets, and then they don't pay taxes because there's no taxes on debt. Mind blown. Why? That was the reason I bought so much Bitcoin. That right there. I started reading, like guys like Kiyosaki and guys like that. That's what rich people do. And I was like, well, shit, if I want to be wealthy, which who doesn't? I mean, I'm not driven by wealth, but I want to be wealthy, right? So I started studying that stuff and implementing that. Now, when I started buying the amount of Bitcoin that I was buying, because I was doing well in the mortgage industry, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many people were talking shit. Even some of my wife's family, her brother and stuff. Oh, you need to like diversify and all this stuff. Guess who won now, sucker?
Yeah.
Who was right? I was driven. It wasn't like an uneducated decision or an uneducated play. Now, like my kids are going to be pretty damn well off just because of that investment. You know what I mean? Just because of that investment in that, and similar stuff with Justin, which and this isn't, I don't ever want to come off as talking about money because it's not about that. But that's what I'm doing now with some watches. I'm buying a bunch of watches because I've studied it thanks to you. I've been a Rolex guy, but now, when I was hanging out with you, we went and bought that. You knew a lot. And I'm like, well, I want to start learning more about this. Dude, those suckers go up. You can take loans out on them almost of the damn value. So I've been buying watches left and right, not out of like pomp or like, look at me. They're freaking investments, dude. So people can say all they want. This is a smart move on my behalf, in my opinion. But how did I get there? Going off what you just said, I studied it.
Mhm.
I studied it.
So I've bought and traded watches over the last number of years. And I did what I did close to like $250,000 in watches like 2 years ago in trades, and never, other than if I did anything off of Rolex, I never took a loss, and I always did better than where I came from with a Rolex. Always ramped up, ended up getting the exact watch of my dreams. And I have a number of Rolexes, but I only really wear one because it's like I just can't. I can't justify putting any other one on. But I literally, the watch that I'm wearing right now essentially was free, right? It was from me ramping up and buying and trading and selling and doing all this stuff to the point where I was able to get a $55,000 Rolex essentially by just trading my way up to it and taking the profit and pushing it into
They take it
uh
back at cost, but what I'm talking about is doing which, is buying them and never selling them. I'm not gonna sell them.
yeah,
I'm gonna, one,
yeah,
give like,
no,
when
no, no, they're
my
just a
sons
game.
graduate from high school, I'm gonna give them one, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
stack
it's
them
just a
because
game
you
though
can
for
literally
me.
take a loan out on them almost to the value. So if I stack them up and I ever get in trouble, I can take leverage. No, I don't pay taxes on debt. So therefore, I
Mhm.
can take out, let's just say, even on, so one of my Bitcoin, let's use that example. It's not 100 grand anymore, but that's simple math. You take out, let's say 70 grand to invest somewhere else, you have the Bitcoin. You don't pay
Yeah.
taxes on that 70 grand because it's
You want to
debt.
know? You want to know something interesting about Rolex? So a lot of like your special forces, special agents, CIA dudes, like guys like that. They all wear Rolexes. They all wear uh uh black submariners. Okay, like almost all of them. And they're like guys like that are military contractors and stuff like that, like high end guys. They wear them when they go overseas, and they wear them everywhere. You want to know why?
No, I'm curious why.
That's their safety net. That's their out.
But yeah,
Because no matter
that
what,
makes
that's
sense.
that watch. So if they get jammed up, thrown in a situation, right, where like they're fucked, like that, they have the watch right there. Boom, I can exchange this out if I get like robbed, whatever. I'm in a situation where I can, boom, it's right here. They know it's worth value. Everybody on the planet knows that's why it's called Rolex, right?
Yeah.
Rolex's name was named Hans Wildorf named Rolex because it's understood in every single language, right? Um, and that's exactly it, dude. There is no there to me, like there is no better investment than a Rolex in terms of like what like something tangible that you buy like that. Other But then the best investment, and what one, just to kind of like piggyback off of what you were saying, what do rich people invest in? Are two things that are not tangible. Time, right? So there's so many people out there that will go out of their way to save money and not save time. Like for example, dude, like, and this is just like in my own home. The other day, Christina, like, we started this business, and we're profitable, and we're doing really good, and like we're having fun with it. And it's like, we're doing peptides, we're doing coaching and stuff like that, and it's fun. But it's like another thing for her, right? Well, also keep in mind, like we have Christian and Geo, right? And all the pets. And by the way, we just got we have a new golden retriever coming.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so nice little family situation. And then she has her brick and mortar, and her med spa and all of that. And on top of that, like she's always doing laundry, and she's like always like doing stuff around the house. And we have a cleaning lady that comes like every 3 weeks. Okay. And I'm like, babe, how much did you make last year? And she's like, a lot. I go, you know, how much? And I'm not gonna say the number, but anybody on this call would be like, fuck, right? And you know, and of course I make a lot, and I do not, and I don't raise, like, I will not like do anything that costs me less per hour than what I make. And we talked about this the other night on Tony's call. So some people listening to this understand you might not be at this situation yet, but as you get there, you need to understand how valuable your time is. For Christina to do laundry, right? I can pay somebody to come here every single week and clean the house, do all the laundry, fold everything, make sure everything's tight, and set her up so she doesn't have to do that stuff. So for me to save her, you know, 3 or 4 hours, because she makes well over $100 an hour, well over, well beyond, way beyond that, right? For me to pay somebody $150 or 100 or $200 or $300 to come here and take care of everything for her so she doesn't have to lift a finger throughout the week on the stuff that doesn't need to be done is totally worth it.
I get it.
We are able now to focus in on income earning activities, and those hours that we save, she is doing that. So saving time is the biggest thing, and broke people don't understand this. Broke people don't understand that, like, you have to spend money to save time, but in order to
Yeah,
make anything, you have to have more time.
right.
The other thing that broke people don't understand is education. And most people, most millionaires and billionaires will say the greatest
Never stop
investment
learning.
is in your education, is in yourself, right? The greatest investment is what you can learn and what you can pour into your brain, and the skills that you can build. People will say to, like, will say, well, I could never imagine like going online and starting this whole business. Well, of
You're dead right
course.
there. That's right there. You
Well,
just killed yourself.
but if they don't have anything to offer, right, they didn't educate themselves, so you don't
You're
know
saying like,
what
yeah, get good at something, figure out how
you
to
have
fix
to
something,
solve a
fix
problem.
yourself first. Fix something.
Yeah.
Everybody's good at something. So what are you good at? Then teach people that. I don't know. Whatever it is.
That's just it. And so, you know, and so, and then
But saying
then that,
though, stopping and saying that I can't do it because of this or because of that, that's such a broken mindset. And it's you're dead in the water right there. I say it all the time,
oh
and I've been
yeah.
really sitting on it a lot because it's so just powerful, which is first and foremost, you have to know you're worth it. What does that mean? So, first and foremost, you're worth whatever the hell you want. Why? Because you're a child of God, and that alone makes you worth it. Truly. So think about that. Like if we look at God, it doesn't matter what people's like religion is. Let's just use God, whatever your God is in your religion for a second. Doesn't isn't like a fatherly figure, right? And don't we all look at God as a does your father want you to be wealthy? Does he want you to have an easy life? Right? Think of it like that. So why would he not want you to have pretty much whatever you want? You know, I'm not talking about everything I want and I'm wiping my nose with hundreds. You know what I mean? Like contained.
Abundance.
So you have to know you're worth it. So yeah, abundance is available for anybody, but that mindset is blocked when you say, "Oh, I could never do that." You're dead in the water, bro. Like, what do you mean? Why don't you say,
Well, yeah.
"I will learn how to do that. I will learn." See, the point of that is will learn how to do that, and then I'll freaking do it. You know,
Mhm.
when I tell you there's going to be a Warrior Maker product in every damn household, do you believe me? You know my drive. I will not. I will work relentlessly until I make that happen because that's my mindset.
Yeah. I believe in that so much that I tell people all the time, yeah, Warrior's a household name.
But the
Like,
key
you
there is
wouldn't.
you said, but the key there, in my opinion, is really kind of what I just said. I kind of piggybacked off of you, went on a tangent. I studied. I started studying money because I'm a mortgage banker and I wanted to be better at banking. I wanted to learn about it. Then I was like, holy shit, banking is corrupt. Holy moly, the Federal Reserve ain't federal. You know what I mean? All this stuff going off of 1984. But I educated myself and I became a better banker because I knew how money worked. And I could just sell better. When you read and you're constantly growing, you have more articulate things to say. You can kind of like keep a conversation. Like you and I can sit down and talk. Sometimes we're like, I don't know, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. Start recording. You know what I mean? We just
Yeah.
go. But the thing is like that studying of if I well, first before I went into Robert Kiyosaki, it was what's the other guy? Dave Ramsey, which was save, 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 and like don't buy coffee and like pay off your debt, which is the total opposite of what I started to do. Then when I read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's like, dude, debt is king because debt is not taxed,
Yeah.
and it
Well, you
doesn't
got to
matter what you
understand.
believe. It doesn't matter which one you. That's not the point. The point is. I educated myself so I can make an educated opinion. When I started to do the Bitcoin, it was an educated opinion. One, I'm not a big fan of the government. I'm not a big fan of the banking system. So I'm like, I'm going to get my money out of the banking and I'm going to put it into something that nobody can take. And if it dies with me at the end of the day, so F you, that was some of it because
Right.
I'm a punk rocker. I'm not dealing with it. But two, I knew that it was going to do what it did because I read about it for 2 years.
Hmm.
Follow me? You know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, Dave,
if
you know,
you
remember it's also who your audience is. Like Dave Ramsey is for people who are poor that are going to probably just
his stuff
stay
sucks,
just
man.
right
He's
above
so off
poor.
base. He's so wrong.
Well,
He's
yeah.
just
I mean, if everybody worked like Dave Ramsey, really, if everybody listened to him, the used car market would be completely fucked, which it already is, but it would be even more fucked, because he wants you to drive a $15,000 car and own it outright, right? That's creating wealth,
it's a
right? Like,
depreciating asset,
okay,
dude.
right. And then and you know and so and it's like, okay, well, we know the smartest way to buy a car is to lease a car if you don't drive over 12,000 miles a year. Period. Right? And then and either way, who the fuck wants to drive it nowadays? A $15,000 car is a bucket. And
Can
so
you
who
find
wants
it?
to
Is it
drive that?
available out there? No.
Oh yeah, every dealer at the auction is like, that's a sweet spot. No, it's not. You can't fucking buy those anymore for even close to, you can't even buy them for retail anymore. Anyways, again, you got to know your audience with that type of shit. Dave Ramsey is not the way to go. But Robert Kiyosaki definitely is a great way to go.
I have
And
followed
again,
his way of thinking, and it has done really well for
same. You know what I'm good at is making my cash work for me, right? And you know that's another thing. Like even though like I'm not the richest man in the world, but I'm really fucking good at making money work for me and making cash work for me. And I do it to the point of things that I'm interested in, which is even better. Like it's because
That's
then
the
it becomes a
point.
game. Yeah, then it becomes a game. And for me, it's like I get to make money work for me while being myself, wearing a rancid t-shirt or no shirt at all day. And I get to work and work. Like yesterday, I did half of my work and I was literally doing exactly that. And I was laying on, I bought a new like a float bed for our pool. And I was sitting on there. I had a hydration drink. I had my phone, my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and I sat there and I made like fucking $8,500 like in a half hour just sitting there fucking playing around with like my different day trading things like just for fun, and it's fun. It's fucking fun, and that's the whole point. But you gotta like you guys these the thing is okay, and this is the long way for me to put this point in, is that people don't want to learn. And maybe they don't want to learn. They can't even imagine themselves learning. And that's the fucked up thing, right? So like this is what happens. This is like the the
Well, it's like
uh
somebody saying, "How do you get
life
in shape?"
cycle. Well, let's just say this. This is like the life cycle of the washed up guy. Okay, right? Like he's got all these big dreams in high school, and he's going to go off to college, right? And then he goes off to college, and he's like, I'm going to get out of college with this diploma, and things are going to go great. And then you get out of college, you have a rude awakening, plus a bunch of debt,
Yeah,
and that the that
right.
the the workplace isn't quite like that, right? But you find a job that you find a little bit of passion in, or you think you're cool in, or whatever. You get to dress and wear the suit and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you find yourself stuck. Okay, that's what happens. Now you're in a career and you're fucking stuck. But that career demands so much of your attention that you don't have the opportunity to see what's outside of that career. And then all of a sudden, the thought of learning a new skill or anything along those lines, because then you got to pile on the fact that now you're getting married and you have kids and now you have the career and you're getting fat and you're tired all the time
Keep you in
and
this
all these
box.
things. Right. Right. You're jammed in the box. And so when it comes to like the simple fact, like, yeah, we're you and I will say, like, yeah, you got to learn something. But to some of these guys, learning a new thing, they say this. They say that you teach children a different you teach kids a different language, right? And it's way harder for an adult to learn a language. Just mentally, like we're like it's easier to teach
They
a
close
child
their
a new
minds
language.
to it. Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. It's that we don't want to learn it. we don't have
because
the
it takes
desire to.
work.
Right.
People like this.
Right. Yeah.
I make it to my next paycheck and then I'm cool. And then
There's no belief. Like what you
I
said.
spend my bank account as just gets me the next paycheck and then I'm cool and our bills are paid. But what happens if like you get flat tires? Let's say you get two, and they're screwed because you don't have, you know what I mean? Like I just that's where they're that's where what school systems do. They keep you in this box. They keep you just without any creativity. I saw people in mortgages, bro, that like I saw every freaking walk of life. I saw doctors. I saw mailmen. I saw mailmen that were wealthier than doctors that made 50 grand a month. Why? Because they invested their money and they made 4 grand a month. What did they do? They bought real estate, had somebody move in there, somebody's paying your mortgage, and then they leveraged it. They bought more real estate, and then they had somebody pay their mortgage, tax write-off. They bought real estate. I'm talking about this one specific guy. I'll always use him as an example. He owned 10 houses outright, and he made 4 grand for his total mailman season, whatever the hell he did. Then he gets a pension, and he lives off those houses now because he can leverage them and whatnot. And then I have a doctor that makes 50 grand a month that is so in debt that I can't even get you a loan, dude, because you are so outspended of yourself and hasn't invested a dollar.
Mm. It's funny though, because you when you bring that up to people, like you see their limiting beliefs and their limiting mindset right away with the things that they say, right? So you'll have people that claim ADD. Oh, it's my ADD. Like it's your ADD, like it's yours. You just claimed it, it's all yours. Or they'll say things like, I'm not tech savvy.
I
Inexcusable.
say that.
Inexcusable to say that, but it's not, but you are, right? Like, yeah, no one's tech savvy. The technology's brand new to all of us, right? But are you willing to open up
Learn
your
it.
phone and figure it out, right? It's not tech savvy. It's not that you're not tech savvy. You're fucking lazy. You're lazy because these apps, all of this stuff was built for like grandmas to understand, right? Like people will get into like a training application that are getting into online fitness coaching, and they'll be like, I'm not tech savvy. Like you realize this app was literally designed for meathead bodybuilders that are roided out of their mind, that don't understand anything to understand
Well,
these apps.
most
Like
people will stop when there's a pebble in the road.
right. You just don't want it. You don't want to learn it. You're lazy. You want to be, you want to literally, and that's the problem, is that work isn't work. It's doing your job, right? So once you're at work long enough, you worked in the same career for 20 years or whatever, 10 years or even 5 years, you're not going to work. You're doing your job, right? Work is like you working on something for an outcome, right? Like you're working, like going to work to do your job is just part of breathing at that point. It's
Gosh,
part of
bro, can
getting
you
a.
imagine now? Can you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine some of that. I mean, I did well in the mortgage industry, so I was blessed and like financially, but like still just I worked for somebody, even when I was a branch manager, I worked for somebody. But I'll tell you something that's
I
prevalent
have
for the
that
common,
nightmare.
huh?
I have that nightmare all the time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's horrible.
Do
I
you,
can't
do you
even
ever get
imagine.
that?
So when I was done with the mortgages, and so I started being a student of finances. I started studying Bitcoin. I started studying macroeconomics, which led me to my mentor, who I speak of all the time. I'll tell you a cool story about that. So he had a huge financial channel. He's on Fox News all the time. You can't even say Bitcoin without this guy's name being brought up. He's huge. He's gigantic. His recording studio for his YouTube channel is freaking huge, dude. It's like I don't know, 1,000 square feet. It's huge. So he's made it, is the point of all that. So I know him, but not well. Before I started working for him, and how I got into that door. You want to get in the right doors with the right man. Have a pretty damn good knock, is what I say, right? So what I did was I knew he was into Bitcoin, and I was getting into Bitcoin, and I knew him kinda. So what I did was I started kind of reaching out. He kind of blew me off, but somewhat he would respond. And what happened was some of those responses, when I would respond, I would have an educated response. So through time, he realized, wow, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. So long story short, after that conversation starting to build, and he started responding to me more, blah 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 blah. He when the mortgages kind of slowed down again after COVID, that's when he called me and said, "Hey man, I know mortgages have slowed. Would you like to run my sales department here?" That's how this all started. That was the basically starting point of all this. That was when my mindset changed. I was around guys that thought different and they're entrepreneur. He launched the entrepreneurial spirit in me. But I got into that door, like I always talk about, because I had educated myself on finances, Bitcoin. And when somebody in that room that I wanted in spoke to me, I could carry the conversation that was equal to what he would respond to. If it was just like, "Hey man, what should I invest in?" What the hell does that mean? How can I answer that, bro? I don't know anything about you. Like, how do I get in shape, dude? I don't know even know you, dude. Like, I'll get a text. How do I get in shape? That's such a dead end question because I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what your weight. You know what I mean? It's such a. He would always say, "You." The response you get is in the question that you ask. He would always
Mm,
say that to me. So, meaning, basically, he would basically say in so many words, "Come back with a better question, and I'll respond to it better."
mm,
You know what I mean? And I'd always be
yeah,
like, "Dude, but, like, you know what I mean? You wanna get in the right rooms with the right man, you better have a damn good knock."
that's it.
Truthfully, educate
That's
yourself.
it.
You wanna thinking is such hard business that if it were easy, everybody would do it. Henry Ford, mic drop. One of the
Yeah,
wealthiest men ever.
yeah,
Fall of success. It's there.
yeah.
Right.
Leaves clues. That's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
bro.
just so, like, for anybody listening, let's just kind of wrap this up, like, and we've kind of covered a lot of shit, and it's good. It's all really good stuff. But like, you have to realize, first of all, I think it's important, like, self-awareness is the biggest thing, right? And acknowledge where you are. Like, acknowledge where you are. Like, if you're like, oh man, I want to start my personal brand, or even thinking about, or like, how do I get out of this 9 to 5? How do I get out of this, like, this
You have a phone with a
perpetual?
computer in your pocket. Figure it
Oh,
out.
totally. But that's not enough for most people. And believe me, because
Bring it out.
I talked. But bro, I'm telling you, because right, I'm in the business of helping guys start their businesses, right? And these guys, literally, that's what I do. I'm in the business of starting businesses and growing and helping people scale their businesses. And what I run into so often is where guys get held up in fear, and it has nothing to do with whether they're not even thinking of whether it can work or not. They're not even thinking about that. They're thinking about taking the first step, and that uncomfortable first step is why most people never even begin. It has nothing to do with failure. It has nothing to do with success. It has literally the fact that they can't imagine learning a new skill set because they are stuck in a perpetual mediocre
Box. Yeah.
box. And that's where they got trapped. And it is, you are trapped. Like, what
Comfort is the enemy
Tate
of
the Tate
progress.
dude. Well, yeah. The tape dude calls it the Matrix. Like, you're a sim. Like, you're caught up in the same fucking thing over and over again. Well, look, the first thing is believing that you can do it. Like, if you don't believe that you can do it, then you're fucked. Like,
You're
you are
screwed.
fucked. You don't even
Yeah,
try,
you're screwed.
right? You're screwed. And then it's like, literally, like, you have to do two things. You have to find a way to save as much time, because you're going to time yourself out. You are. Like, you're going to exhaust yourself trying to save money, to waste time to save money. That will put you back in the perpetual downward spiral that you're already in to begin with, because you're wasting so much time making somebody else money right now, right? So you're going to go from wasting your time to make somebody else's dreams come true as an employee, to trying to save money and waste a bunch of your own time. You got to realize, like, this is the mindset flip that everybody needs to have when they jump into becoming an entrepreneur. You need to realize how valuable your time is, which most people don't. Most people do not care. They dick off their entire life.
Yeah,
Most people
they're
dick
looking
off
at it. They're
their entire
scrolling through
life.
Instagram the whole fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah. They dick off their
How
entire
long have you
life.
been on Instagram? Like, right? Or like I work from, 7 to 5. Like, what am I gonna do? Start a job, do a job at night? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Let's say you work from 7 to 5, then you build a business from 5 to 9. Let's just use that as an example. Let me be clear to you, people who have never had a business. When you start a business, you're working those damn hours. I worked them for a year and a half. Year and a half. I worked like 16-hour days, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm not exaggerating. That's when I had the fitness channel. I was doing extremely well, but I had to do it. I was doing it all myself. That's what you do. That's what you do. You work those many damn hours, dude. So like you now, oh, but you need to get off at 5 and you need to have some time on the couch. whatever, man. You can have time on the couch, or you can make yourself something, dude. Like make something of yourself, and then work for yourself. And I can tell you, the best dollar I ever spent was the first dollar that I got from that first fitness thing. Best dollar I've ever had.
Yep. Yeah.
Should
Oh
I
yeah.
should have like saved that $300.
I've sold shit my entire life, and the first time that I sold something that I
It's
created
liberation, dude.
was the best
It's
feeling
complete
ever.
liberation. It's like, holy shit, I have arrived.
That's it. Guy, this
Love
was
it.
great. This is great. I got
Good
to run
stuff.
though. I got another business to attend to.
Yeah. Love you, buddy.
Guys, if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe. We really appreciate you guys listening to this. We've been getting a ton of great feedback. We want to continue to give you guys more of this stuff. So keep hitting us up, keep giving us your feedback. We'll catch you next time. Hey, are you coming this weekend?
No, I'm gonna come soon. I got some stuff, getting some work on my back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we're gonna do an in-person one here shortly, but otherwise, I hope you're enjoying
Hopefully
this
next week,
series.
guys.
Yep. Awesome. 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 So catch us next time on the Sick Boys podcast. We're done.
Later, guys.